Back for another pass. Get your plane off the ground.
Hi, I'm Cram, and today we're taking a look at the Mad Catz published Damage Inc. Pacific Squadron World War II. As the title suggests, the game is an arcade-based World War II aerial shooter, which places players into the role of a rookie pilot who's actually an ace in disguise, depending on skill levels. As the US are unwittingly drawn into the war with the famous Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, there's little reason to pay too much attention to the harrowing yet poorly delivered tale of the main character when you dive bomb into the campaign. There's some informative background to what usually acts as a condensed history lesson, and then the chance to take to the skies and show off your ace flying skills. On default settings at least, the game is quite forgiving, in terms of offering a large crosshair, rechargeable rounds, and indicators to help lead those targets. The aircraft control is also pretty easy to master, yet at the same time, some of the control layout is a bit odd and could have been better. For example, the right thumbstick acts as the throttle, whereas moving it left or right skews the camera. The right bumper acts as a bullet time device, yet the fire button rests on the right trigger. Awkward and aggravating spring to mind, which is a shame, seeing as it's an integrated part of the gameplay. Damage Inc. comes with some 20 missions, which range from short runs to long drawn-out encounters. Players take on various mission parameters, including recon, bombing, and naval battles, but after about a third into the game, the repetition sets in. Granted, the game does provide satisfyingly easy-to-play gaming, but does get old rather quickly. Perhaps the biggest problem is the number of times seasoned players will have already battled through Pearl Harbor and Midway in other games. In terms of looks, there's some real basic graphics which aren't really on par with some of the more polished and bigger budget aerial shooters. Blocky graphics for things like clouds, a poor and fluctuating frame rate, and some very low texture detail make for a game that's more akin to a downloadable title. That said, there are some genuinely fantastic looking shots of the aircraft turning above a sunlit sea, which shows off some solid lighting effects. Audio sits very much at the average end of the scale, and whilst the sound effects for the aircraft are actually quite good, including the sound of extra pressure on the engines when diving, the voice work from the main hero sadly lets the game down, as his often routine delivery offers no emotion at all. The rest of the audio fits well, including the dramatic orchestral soundtrack, which complements planes being shot to pieces and bombs finding their targets. Damage Inc. offers a fair number of missions to play through, both solo with 4 players with friends online. It also provides multiplayer gaming, where unlocked planes can be used to battle it out in versus modes. Sadly, this is one game where coordinated purchases with friends is probably the best approach, as there are little to no online players to jump into games with. Damage Inc. sits in a realm of familiarity, which makes it a bit of a tough sell for Mad Catz. That said, this is a very easy game to get into. It's pretty inoffensive and offers an insight into our past, which might be educational for younger gamers. If you like aerial shooters, then you probably will have played through many of the scenarios before, and could probably find better examples. If not, then this is worth a look in, but not at the price being offered. Damage Inc. ultimately sits at the average end of the scale, and would have probably benefited from being a download-only game. Damage Inc. therefore scores a slightly below average 4.5 out of 10. I'm Cram. Thanks for watching.